I would like to welcome each and every one of you to the YouTube channel this evening. I pray that each and every one of you has had a wonderful day in the house of the Lord. I'm sorry I didn't get to do my video last night. I was really wore out, but I wanted to speak to every one of you today and tell you that the seniors for DeKalb County High School and Bristol, Tennessee High School, the countdown starts Monday. Half a day, and then you got the full day the next time. But I wanted to say a very congratulations to each and every one of you. This is a milestone that you have reached in your life, and I want to say congratulations to each and every one of you. I realize where I have sat at many times on the DeKalb County High School football field, and I want to say that place that I used to sit at still remains in my mind where I sit at, because most of the time I write a congratulations to all DeKalb County High School seniors, but this year I didn't get a chance to do it. I remember setting up a long time ago, back when I had back strength and my muscles, and I remember setting up, and this young girl, Tara Talbert, she was making a speech, and she said, "Your senior life has been really short." I want to say to you seniors of DeKalb County High School and Bristol, Tennessee High School, your senior year will be extremely short. The 4 years flew by, but I want to say, when I was in the 5th grade, I always was in a comprehensive development class. They call it CDC in the high school, where you can't have regular classes. You always have a teacher, no matter where it's at. If it's at the middle school, high school, wherever you're at, you always got that same teacher. You never go to this place and to that place and have a different teacher. Well, one time I had a CDC teacher, and one time I had a regular teacher. They wanted me to come back at the age of 19, and I told them no, I didn't want to come back to no school. I wanted to come back and watch the high school basketball games, because that is my pastime, what I like to do. But I wanted to say, they wanted me to come back when I was 19 years old, and I told them no. They wanted me to stay another 4 years. They wanted me to graduate, really, for them, in 2008. But I graduated in 2004. There wasn't nobody to hold me in that class but me, and I got out of it when I got out of it. But I want to go back to my middle school years, if I may. I'm going to just keep this a little bit brief. I know this ain't preaching, but God told me to do it like this, so I'm going to do it like He said do it. The middle school down here, for me, at this time, was awful. In the 5th grade, they always put me in the corner. They always told me that a bunch of stuff on me that I'm not even going to tell. But I want to say I remember them days. I remember getting stuck in the corner. I remember being bad. I know I was. I was just a kid. Any kid would be bellowing out and tattletelling and I'm not talking about 17-year-old. I'm talking about 11, 12-year-old kids. But I got told on by a CDC aide every time. And I don't like being told on by nobody. I know I joke around. I know I talk around a lot, but I want to say when they did that to me, told everything that I had done, and they had told my aide at that time, I'm not even going to mention her name because she was my aide at that time, and she was no good. And my grandpa came to the middle school, and I was almost in the lunch area where all my girlfriends were at that time, and she looked at me and with a sour look on her face, and she looked at me and said, "Am I giving you a dirty look?" And I said, "Nothing." And that's a shame. That's a shame for somebody to do me like that. And I want to say that all of you needs to keep your head up. I've kept my head up for 4 years, and when I got out of middle school, I said, thank God I'm going to high school now. I don't have to worry about the middle schools no more. But back at that time, I would call them middle school munchkins, because that's what they were back in them days. But when I got into high school, I got into more trouble. I think one of my other personal assistants back in them days was a lady that never wanted me to carry my Bible around in the school system. Let me tell you something. Instead of being social studies and all them, I know math is important. I know language is important. But let's do away with the social studies for a minute. The social studies needs to be out of our schools, and the Word of God needs to be in our schools. That's how I see it. Well, back when I was maybe a junior, I don't remember, I would carry my Bible to school, and they would always make fun of me. Well, why is he carrying the Bible to school? And so my grandpa went to the scoreboard and told them to leave my grandson alone. He can carry his Bible anywhere he wanted to. See, I knew back when I was in high school, the Lord was dealing with me to answer the call to preach. And I was reading my Bible and studying and doing all that for my good. And I knew the Lord was calling me to preach. I knew the Lord was dealing with me to preach. And so that's how it was. Well, I got licensed to preach in our association April the 14th, 2007. And that was the greatest day of my life. And I always would preach always on Saturday. I never would preach on Sunday because I was scared to death to preach around them other brothers, but I'm used to it now. The Lord was dealing with me to preach at that time, and that I'm going to just leave it at that. Well, anyway, I got out of high school, and I threw up my cap as soon as the benediction got done. And I remember where I was at, what I was doing, and I know what I was doing. And I had a man, a young guy, pick it up for me. He was behind me in the graduation. Chris Bradshaw is who I'm talking about. And he always picked up my cap. And I didn't know the principal was going to say this. He said, "All right, seniors, it's time for you to graduate." At that time, everybody threw up their caps and went on with their lives. And I did too. I went on with my life. And I, right then and there, the Lord started dealing with me again to preach. And I finally, when I turned 21, I had answered the call to preach. I wanted to wait for a long time to preach the gospel, and I'm glad I did. And I'm glad that I started at a young age. I started when I was 21, and I'm almost 41, so I've almost been at it for 20 years, I guess. But the Lord has really blessed me. The Lord has really blessed me with a gift to preach, a gift to sing, and a gift to pray. And if I didn't have them three, I don't know what I would do. But I want to go back to my middle school years. When I was in 6th grade, everything went good. But when I went into 7th, everything started going downhill. I always would get in trouble. I would always miss a day of homework. The aide would send me home with homework, and all I wanted to do was just lay on the floor and not do nothing. But 8th grade rolled around, I still done the same thing. 9th grade rolled around, I still done the same thing. 10th rolled around, 11th and 12th. I never had no homework in the 12th grade. I might have, I don't remember. But they was really impatient with me, and they wanted to stick me back for 4 more years, and I told them no, I wanted to graduate when I did. So I graduated in 2004, 4 years before my buddy was born, Jared Belcher. He was born in 2008. Well, let me go back to what I was saying at that time. I had answered the call to preach, and after that he was born. And I was really, really impressed on my calling to preach, because I felt like the Lord did call me to preach. Well, at that time, Jared was a year old or a month old, and I got to see him as a little baby. And I'm not going to go into detail what all was done, but I remember going to Pilgrim's Home on Regular Baptist Church, and we was having service there, and my cousin brought him, and that was the only kid they had. And I didn't pay no attention. He got a little older, I didn't pay no attention. He got a little older, I didn't pay no attention. But I did watch his baptism. I watched everything that he had done. and I watched him grow up, and he done exactly what the Lord told him to do. And he said to his mom, he said, "Mom," he said, now this is really personal to me. He asked the Lord to forgive him in his bedroom, and that's where I was when the Lord come to me, and he didn't know how to pray. I didn't know how to pray. His mom would always start the prayer off, and she would say out like, "Have a nice day at school," or have a good day tomorrow. In your name, amen. And he would go to sleep. And the Lord was dealing with him when he was 16 years old. He didn't turn him away, but he really got to business. And Saturday, February of 2025, he joined our church, and he was 16 at the time. I didn't really know what was going on, but I'm just glad that everybody that watches this can relate to this, because Jared, he was one of my best buddies in the whole church, but he never joined when I did. He joined, I guess, 5 years later. At that time, he was 11 years old, but he never did join the church. And he was just a little bitty kid at that time, but he was growing up really, really good, and he was 16 when he joined the church. And I want to say that I am very proud of you, and I want you to keep your head up. The countdown starts Monday. You might as well count down till May of 2027. And my cousin says they are the Vikings. And I think, well, I can't wait till that day, because I get to see him walk across the stage. And have you ever seen the Minnesota Vikings? They look like a Viking is coming after them. Be careful what you run into, but it's kind of a joke in a way, but them Vikings are not real. That's just the name of their high school, Bristol, Tennessee High School, home of the Vikings. And I want to say to all of you, congratulations to the class of 2027. You have reached this milestone in your life. It's time for you to go on with your life. It's time for you to get a job of your own. It's time for you to do all of that stuff that you want to do when you was now. But I want to say to those of you that are watching this, my school days was not much. They would always treat me bad in the 5th grade. They would always talk about me in the 5th grade. But 6th grade, I didn't get out. I got out of it. 7th grade, I got out of it. And 8th grade, I got out of it. But I was still in trouble. And I was talking about my homework that I used to do, and I didn't like them. I'm not going to say I didn't hate them. I didn't enjoy it. All I wanted to do was go home and relax. And I knew that I had a test that next morning, a spelling test or a math test or something. And the lowest grade that I ever got was a 13. and that was not good. But I just done that just to be giving out answers. I mean, that's how bad they done me in school. But I want to say they're not bad to me now because I can speak up my mind. I can speak what's on my mind, and and I care who listens to this. I care if anybody drops on this video and listens. But for those of you that have followed me for a long period of time, thank you. And I know I've griped around a lot, but thank you for listening to my gripes, my groans, and my worries. But I don't have any worries because I'm a blessed man. I sing a song sometimes. I am blessed. Every day that I live, I am blessed. I couldn't say that in the high school or the middle school because number one, they wouldn't even let me sing in the high school or middle school or anybody in the classroom. They would not even let me sing. What a shame. What a shame. But I'm glad today that I can report to you now that I sing for the honor and the glory of God. I don't sing for no teacher. I don't sing for no principal. If God tells me to witness to somebody, I'm going to do it. But I want to say this one thing before I even get off of here. When I was a freshman in high school, getting ready to get out to go to my sophomore year, there was a young boy got killed at the age of 17. And he was on his way to school, and he was on his way up to Snows Hill, and it was raining hard, and he had a wreck. And everybody was in that room, hallway crying. And they was hugged up to their boyfriends, hugged up to their girlfriends, hugged up to their high school sweethearts. I remember this very well. I'm going to end this with this right here. But when I saw what I seen, the Lord told me, He said, stop and pray for them. And I prayed just as loud as I could. I didn't care who heard me. I didn't care who saw me. When you lose a classmate, it's hard. When you lose a classmate, it's really hard. But I'm just glad that I was there to pray and I wasn't putting on no show. The Lord told me, He said, Josh, He said, I want you to pray right now, right here. Don't go nowhere else. Don't go to the cafeteria. Don't go to the library and pray. Pray right here. Everybody heard me in that school system. But I'm glad I done exactly what the Lord told me to do. If I didn't, I would have been in trouble to this day. So there you go with my life story in high school. I love each and every one of you. And middle school. If I never see you on this side of the grave, I hope to see you wherever day is Sunday. May God bless every one of you. And please pray for DeKalb County school system. We need it. Pray that they can get all the bad stuff going on and all of that. So just pray for that. That's what I want you to go to bed on is pray. Pray for DeKalb County school system starting Monday because they need it. If our schools need prayer, they need prayer right now. So may God bless every one of you. If I never see you again on this side of the grave, I hope to see you wherever day is Sunday. May God bless you.